This week's parasha, Parashat Beshalach, we are finally out of Egypt and we get to Yam Suf, the Sea of Reeds, and the Egyptians are behind us. We're freaking out. What are we going to do? Moshe prays to Hashem. Hashem tells Moshe, lift your staff and the sea will split. Now, typically, when we think of the splitting of the sea, we think of something like this, that there is dry land in between and two big pillars of water on each side, and this is the splitting. We go through, and it's very, very, very clear. However, there are a few different opinions in Chazal that tell us about the different options for the splitting of the sea. The most common one is like this. There's a pillar of water on the right, pillar of water on the left, and we're crossing straight through in a straight line from one side to the next. We get from Egypt out into the Sinai Desert. Another one talks about it and says, where is there an ocean, a sea between Egypt and the Sinai Desert? That doesn't exist. We're talking about it's on the same side. So it talks about the fact, this opinion says, that the ocean split, but it went in sort of like a loop, maybe more of a maze kind of situation. So it wasn't actually a practical thing of getting out of Egypt and getting into the new place, but more of the journey and the miracle of the splitting in and of itself. Its own opinion. There's another opinion that is brought up in the Yalkut Shimoni, if I recall correctly. And the Yalkut Shimoni says like this. It says, the ocean split into 12. And each tribe walked through. So Reuven goes on the right side, and he passes over there. The next one is Shimon. The next one is Levi, and so on. All of the tribes. And each tribe goes through, and in between them, there are pillars of water, and they can see each other. So Reuven can see the ocean on one side, but on the other side, he has a pillar of water, a wall of water, and then he sees Levi. And Levi is walking, and he has two pillars of water on his side. One side he sees Reuven, on the other side, Shimon, right? So on one side he would see Reuven, on the other side he would see Levi, right? And going through in that kind of way. Now, according to this opinion, all of them, they open up and they go in different directions and they all end up in the same side. And this is what is really incredible about these opinions. Like a lot of things, when we read different opinions in Chazal that tell us, you go, who cares? What difference does it make if it was 1 or if it was 12? And in a sense, this is what we are talking about when we're talking about being a united people. Does united mean that we are all walking in the same path? Or does united mean we each have our own path, but as long as we are getting to the right goal together, we are getting to the end point together, and we are coming from this right place together, then my way of Avodat Hashem and your way of Avodat Hashem is different. This is something that we very much felt leading up to the war, and now with a new milestone in this war and in this situation, that Baruch Hashem, we have the last of the hostages. His body was returned this past week, and we can have at least that sort of nechama that comes with it, of at least we've gotten all of the hostages out. But when we're looking at it and we're saying, what brought us to that situation, and what has brought us many times in history to conflicts and dangerous situations as a nation, has been a lack of achadut, a lack of unity. And what does that unity mean? I very much believe what the Yalkut Shimoni is trying to tell us, because this is not a unique situation for our generation, is learning to respect one another inside the boundaries of Judaism, inside the boundaries of the nation, and looking around and saying, your path may be different than my path, but it is a path in Avodat Hashem. You may see tefillah as a more important part, and I may see learning Torah, I may see building the land of Israel, you may see your way and I may see my way. But as long as we know that we are all in the same path together, all in the same direction, and I can see your path and you can see my path, then we have achdut. Then we can get out on the other side. May we be zochet to real, true achdut very, very soon. And biat Mashiach tzidkenu. Shabbat shalom u'varach.